Hey, Treaders, as you come in, just say hello in the chat so that we can know who you are or where you're coming from, and we'll be right with you shortly.
Tara.
It's not a
As we
question.
waiting for people to come in.
No, as you're waiting, please just wait and text me if you need to talk.
I want to talk about the Michael movie, and I haven't seen it yet, and I'm upset.
Yeah, Lord Jesus.
All right, whatever.
We'll be starting in a few seconds. If you're coming in, please hit like, comment, and subscribe so that you can be a part of the conversation tonight. This is going to be one of those conversations where we need everyone to just help us get through it because we're going a little deeper this week and we're taking you along for the ride. All right, so give us a minute and we'll be right with you. Okay, before we go in, I want to, if you have pen and paper, because of the nature of our content, we want to make sure that you have the National Sexual Assault Hotline, 1-800-856-4673. And this is available to anyone who have ever been through anything and just needs to talk, or for sure, you can reach out to Bianca or myself to just have a conversation to help you navigate through whatever it is that you are dealing with currently or have dealt with and need help navigating through. So, and with that being said, hey Treaders, welcome to Powder Tread Podcast. I am your host, Tara Nashay, and my co-host, Bianca, as I call her, Giselle. It's an inside joke. But we are here
Hey, y'all.
tonight with the hopes of helping you navigate and just to have the discussion, the discussion that is long overdue concerning these pastors who parade as, pastors, but they are pedos, and and they're inside of the four walls of a church in the most sacred place that they can be. And we are here to not expose them per se, but expose the spirit that is on the inside of them. And so that is our goal. Our goal is souls and not to put anyone on blast, because who saw it but God? Who was actually there but God? And as you'll see tonight, when we go into the children's pastor, this story is one that is for the books. And so we decided to talk in detail about this particular story so that we could go into more detail about our story. Our stories are so similar. Um, this story is about the children's pastor, I'm sorry. And this pastor and his wife were a part of a whole, basically a sex trafficking ring, if you will, and children were the assignment. And so we have these children were from the ages of between 5 and 6, all the way up until like 16 years old. and their stories went national on NBC News and across wavelengths. And really, honestly, still to this day, is still a hot topic of discussion in the streets and in those church streets, if you will. Um, we'll go into a little bit about these pastors, but before we go into that, hello, Bianca. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great.
I can't hear you. Please turn
I'm.
on your
Can you hear me? You can
no,
hear me?
please put your mic in your mic to your mouth or to your
Oh
ear.
gosh, can you hear me
Your
now?
speaker even because I don't
Can
hear
you
you at all.
can you hear me?
No.
Oh Jesus, I don't know what to do.
I don't know. Can
Okay,
you hear
can you hear
me?
me now?
No. So just mute yourself until you
But you said no, so
yeah, I
that means
can't
you
hear
heard the
you.
question. All right, wait a minute. I don't understand what's going on.
So while we're getting her,
Can you hear me?
yes, I can.
Okay. All right, I'm here.
Okay, say
Hey,
hello
hey, Treaders.
to
Hey, Treaders. What's up?
so we tonight we had some questions in the last chat that we did. Those who watched it, they sent me some questions. So I
Okay.
wanted to just answer a couple of them before we actually get started. Um, and so one of the treaders wanted to know, and I would like for you to answer this, and I'll probably answer the next one. It happened so long ago. Why not let it go? Like, why haven't you just let it go?
Okay, that's a great question. I can't let it go because it still affects me daily. And it's hard for people who haven't been through it to understand that, but it's a daily it's something that happens every day. Like it affects you every day. Like even little things, like it's every single day. So you can't really let it go until you're completely healed, which I'm not. I'm trying to be, but it's every day. It affects my it affects every aspect of my life. It affects hygiene. It affects um my waking up time. It affects my daily task. It affects everything. So I can't just let it go until it's completely, if it will even be completely healed and dealt with. That's why it can't be let go.
So when you say it affects even your hygiene, and I know
Yes,
that this is one of those topics that most people don't really take into consideration the debilitating factors that come with the weight of the trauma and the triggers and
mm,
what you walk through. So
right.
I remember talking to a therapist actually, who called me, and she's a well-known therapist, and she called me for therapy. And so I'm not in, I don't have no degrees or anything like that, but she was able to call me. And one of the things that she talked about is she could not only get out of bed, she did not even brush her own teeth
It's hard. It's
for
hard.
weeks at a time. So what do
It's
you mean
hard.
by hygiene?
By hygiene, it's hard to shower. It's hard to brush your teeth. It's hard to go to the nail salon. It's hard to get your hair done, just because. And then when I'm realizing right now in this very moment, I'm I'm unpacking it right now, y'all. I mean, I know it's hard, but I'm unpacking it right now. Um, it's like you don't feel like you just don't feel like it.
Mm-hmm.
It gives you a sense of like not having to take care of yourself because you never took care of yourself.
Or you weren't taken care of.
Well, that is the
So that's
truth,
like a
but
part
that's not
of.
what it feel. But that's not what it feels like. It
Okay.
feels more like I never took care of myself.
Mm-hmm.
So why am I taking care of myself now? Why do I have to push myself to take care of myself now? So self-care is an extreme challenge. I mean, you got to fight to do it.
Hmm. And
That's
it's
what
something
I've
you have to
I've
be.
learned. Like, I got to fight.
Yeah, you have to be deliberate about or intentional about self care. Otherwise, you're going to neglect yourself every time.
Yeah,
Yeah, that
exactly.
makes sense. Okay, so I just wanted to make sure that all those areas will come.
I hope that answered the question to whoever asked it. I don't know how more clearer I can be,
Yeah. Well, for
but
me,
that's what it feels like.
yeah, it happened so long ago. Why not let it go? Like even down to my abuser prior to my leader. One of the main things was, when I brought it back up at 50, 50, 50 years old, it's like, well, why are you still talking about that? Like basically, why are we even still, mind you, it's never ownership taken, no apologies, no accountability, no nothing, just flat out denial. And I wasn't the only one that was touched by this individual, but also, why not just let it go? Because there are others like you out in the world currently with children
Right.
who are like me, and to avoid them from walking through down the same path that I've had to walk through, I have to open my mouth to speak about pedos like you. So I'm charged by God to actually not let it go, because me letting it go would be letting a soul seep out of his hands. So from a spiritual angle, that's my response to that question.
Yeah, and it's
Um,
happening. It happens every day. It didn't stop.
yep.
Like,
It
it
never
didn't stop
stopped.
with you. It didn't stop with me.
It didn't stop
This
with
is something that's
Tamar.
happening every day, all day, to plenty of people.
Yep. That's facts.
And we
So
need to really understand that. Like, it's happening now. As we speak on this podcast, somebody is being mistreated.
yeah, at the hands of their leader.
Yes, exactly.
That's the other side of it, that we are only, even though we will go into some other things, like because I just went into some historical facts about me, but the reality is, when we talk about it from a leadership angle, we're talking from an angle of someone who should have been looking out for uh, the smallest to the youngest, someone who's charged by God to shepherd the flock of God, somebody who's charged to make sure that we actually, who come in broken, are able to lay down in green pastures, able to have their lives restored, able to be resuscitated or brought out of those dark places. And so this is why we're talking, because we didn't walk into those four doors. And I remember when I walked through the doors of the church for the first time, my anticipation was to meet Jesus, not to run into Satan himself. So, and it was your family's church, so you didn't even you didn't make a decision to walk through those doors. You were basically
Already there, just
already
there.
there. Yes. So, um, the next question is, the statute of limitation is run out. What do you expect to come out of this? So for me,
Okay.
well,
So
this is
I
my
have
wait,
actually
wait,
filed.
wait.
Oh,
Go
wait,
ahead.
go ahead.
So this is my question, but you can take the second part of the question, and then like I took the second part of yours. So take the second part. Um, which we'll have better notes next week as far as how to navigate. But
This is candid, y'all.
this is really candid. We didn't want to have a
We
script,
literally
so
just talking.
we wanted to be as raw and and honest and as natural as how we speak any other day as possible. So here we go. So the statute of limitation is run out. What do you expect to gain from this? Souls is my response to that. I don't expect to gain um, no money, because them niggas. Sorry, I'm not supposed to say that word.
Oh, Jesus.
The Ninja Turtles.
Tara.
Yeah, the Ninja Turtles don't have money to pay me enough
They ain't even got it.
to silence
They
me.
ain't got enough.
I wouldn't put on another gag or a muzzle or a yoke or a bondage if they paid me to do it, because God has made me free, and I will never be entangled again with that yoke of bondage. That is
And
a
who the sun sets free. It's free indeed.
You better preach, Bianca.
I
But
mean, it's a fact.
no, but for real.
But go ahead. All right, go
But
ahead.
no, so that's my reason. What do I expect to come out of this? Souls. So what is your expectation?
My expectation is not money. Um, even though I
Huh?
have filed a suit, um, the state of Pennsylvania has not, I guess, approved the law that would allow the statute of limitations beyond a certain point when it comes to sexual abuse, even though our surrounding states has. So that's still pending, but that's not my goal. My goal is to make it known so that people can't let their kids go through this. Like, this is crazy. And
Yeah.
then it's like that they're entering into it. They get a lot of young moms with young kids, and they're ignorant
Mm-hmm.
about leadership and about the proclivities that leadership has, and they just take them and they victimize the children. So my goal really is to let it be known that these things are happening, and they happen often.
Yeah. Yup.
It's not rare. It's not like, oh, like, it's not obscurity or anything like that. Like, it happens all the time. That is my goal. I don't want any other kids to have to go through what I went through, or what you went through, or what plenty of other people I know went through. I just don't want it to happen anymore. It needs to be out in the open. We need to speak it up loud, and they need to be scared to do it.
Yeah, and it should be some type of fear put back into those four walls. Um,
Yes,
so for me, I I remember when you say it's happening every day, like literally every time
literally.
he had an opportunity
Maybe right now.
every time he had an opportunity to come into our home, whether it was after a Bible study, after Sunday service at night. So he would end the service at night, leave that service because it was like an all day thing for us on Sundays. So you leave that service, you come into our home, and I won't go into the details of how he was able to just come into our home at those nights and those days like that. But for the most part, he had access to our home. So he had access
Mhm.
to me on opportune moments, especially at 2 and 3 in the morning and 12 at night and 12 in the morning, stuff like that. Like he had like direct access to me at any time, and it could be multiple times during the night as well. So every if you left out of a room to go into the bathroom, you would walk through the hallway, and before you went into the bathroom, you would have to walk past my door. So you would come into my door and do all types of things, get off basically, and then go into the bathroom, flush the toilet, and go back where you were. So that is like that level of access multiple times a week. And if you really count how many times I was mishandled, it's innumerable. So it's no amount of money that you can pay me to make up for what was done to me emotionally, spiritually, to my soul.
Right.
Like the
Yeah.
soul,
It's no dollar amount you can put on that.
yeah, because the soul wound, what your soul wound look like is different from what my soul wounds look like. But I bet you an amount of money that you have soul wounds. You know what I mean? Like you can't see soul wounds, but you can feel them.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Like you feel yours every single day. I feel mine
Literally
every
every day
single
and
day.
all day.
Now not all day
I
because
mean, I navigate.
yeah.
I navigate, but I can still. I mean, it's all day.
So what she means by all day, I
It
know what
it
she means.
affects everything. Like, literally everything. It affects my driving because I'm so anxious because of it, that um anxiety affects my driving. Um it affects, listen, Lord have mercy.
Yeah, for real.
I
It's
don't even
just
know if I want to.
I think that if I did not pray, the Bible says that men should always pray and not faint. The Bible says that if we pray without ceasing, It tells us to not be anxious for anything, but everything through prayer. Make our requests
Yeah,
known to
and even
God. So
that though.
it's a lot
But
of
even
trying to.
that, there's nothing wrong
You went out for a second. So yeah, if we're praying, I think that for me, prayer actually does change everything. So the enemy doesn't have he doesn't have time to actually get in and make me actually really stop. The things that debilitated me, the stroke, uh, which I suffered, in 2023, that stroke opened up God's God's ability to actually speak to me and talk to me at any given time about what I was walking through, and to reframe it, so that I can understand that it is trauma from my past, and I needed to open my mouth to speak about it so that I could actually come out of it. And when I came out of it, he gave me the instructions to now open your mouth and help others get out of those dark rooms. So it is
with it.
debilitating. But I want to go into the children's pastor tonight.
Yeah. Okay.
And Bianca, we discussed this. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
You're low again, so you have to turn up
Oh,
the volume.
jeez. Xfinity charge you too much money for
I
this.
can't hear you. And so I'll when you do a mic check, then I'll let you know. But you're
Okay.
talking
All
and we
right.
can't hear you, so it's fine.
One, two.
And anybody in the chat want to say
One,
hello?
two.
Let us know
Can
where
y'all
you're
hear me?
from. Let us know your name. Let us know that you're listening, because I know I see the chat going in and out. And I don't know if anyone was here last week, but welcome back. And for those of you who are just coming in, welcome to Power to Tread podcast. And I'm looking forward to you becoming a part of this community. So like, comment, and subscribe. And also join the chat. If you have any questions or you have any comments, feel free to share. Also, the National Sexual Assault Hotline, 1-800-656-4673. We are in the room, and the hotline, we want you to be able to call and just get help navigating. And you can also call us at any time. Hey, Tyra, how are you? My name is Tahira. Duh.
Wait, can you hear me?
No, I can't hear you. And hi, Hunter. Well, no, he can't. He
Well,
can't
you
see.
can hear me if you.
Don't let him know what we're talking about.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. You can't hear me, but
Oh,
you can
but
say
she can
no. I
hear
can't hear
you,
you.
but I can't hear you. So I don't know what
What
that's
is
about.
going on? We
So whatever you
hearing
did,
you
Bianca,
both
can you
really
just do it
good.
again, because I can't hear you and you're talking.
Tahir,
So do
all
whatever
right.
you did the first time so that I can actually hear you, because I can't hear you.
I'm not doing anything. I'm just standing here.
So try to turn it up, trying to do something, because I can't hear you.
All right. All right. Let me hit this on and off. Like I don't.
Come a little closer, maybe.
All right. Can you hear me now?
No, I can't. But I'll.
But you saying no, you responding to my question, so I know you can't.
I'm
Tahir
gonna
said.
put my earphones back
Tahir
on,
said we can
because
hear
I
you
can't
both
hear
really
you.
good. All right. Okay. Can you hear me now? Hello? Hello? Hello?
Now I can hear you very clear.
Mic check 1 2 1 2.
So
You can hear me?
yeah, I can hear you now.
All right.
She's not
But
funny.
Tahir said that y'all could, that everybody could hear us.
Yeah,
You just can't hear me. I
I
don't know
can't.
why.
Yeah,
What?
I can hear you now. So whatever you did, just keep doing that every time we actually talk. So I can't.
Okay. I
Yeah.
just had to turn it like off of. I just had to go back and forth with it. But okay.
So this is raw, as y'all can see. But thank
Really
you
raw.
for still being with us in the chat and on the line. I do see you coming in and out. And if you don't say anything, I know it's delayed as well. Well, we still are glad that you are here. And like I said, welcome. But so we want to get into this. The children's pastor story
Mm.
is on YouTube. It was everywhere, but this caught my attention a while ago when I was just doing research for Essence Fest. I love you so much. I love you so much. Thank you, Jody. I love you too. I don't know who you are, but I absolutely love you as well. Bianca, you gotta say hi to Jody.
I love her too.
Okay,
Whoever, I love you, Jody.
okay. So this story picks up. It caught my attention when I was really doing research for Essence Fest, and for just the documentaries and just having some real direct insight on other people's stories concerning childhood abuse from leaders. Because we're not by ourselves, even though it feels like we're by ourselves, right, child? Please, child. But
It does feel like that.
so Joe and Becky Campbell are owners of Camp Bell, who hosted thousands of children over 35 years. So these are hundreds of thousands of children that they hosted for over 35 years at their camp named after them. So
Mm.
they're the owners. They were also pastors of Eastland Assemblies of God and a part of
Oh.
TBN Network. So you know about TBN Network. That was a major scandal that broke forth with Jim Baker and Tammy Baker and also Jimmy Swaggart and others from that network. There was a lot of pedo things that were happening, a lot of things between male and female, male and male activity, female and female activity, and also just inappropriate activity with children as well. And so this is something that was known, known to everyone across the board. So, and this is known globally. So they were a part of a thriving church full of young children, but they were also pedos.
Oh
25
Lord,
years later,
juice boxes.
juice boxes. I couldn't think of the name that you said. Yes, they were juice boxes. So they had all kinds of flavors of the juice: cherry, orange, peach, mango, blueberry, whatever. They had all of it. So these people were very demonic. And so 25 years later, 24 years later, 20 for some, 40 years later, they're still trying to get their stories heard as a result of what they walk through when they walk through those doors. So, hey, oh, that's my, is that, but I don't know, Bostonian. Oh, Bostonian, that is my brother James, aka Shibs, right? So he said, "Peace, fam." Hey, Shibs, what's up? And
Hi,
so
shoes.
so that's my youngest brother. So we see here that 25 years later, they're still trying to get their stories heard, and they're still actively combing through, CNN, everywhere to try to get everyone to hone in so that they can actually, and they're not looking for payment either. They're looking for validation. Like this actually happened, and we have documented proof that this happened. And how many times does someone have to be harmed for somebody to actually step in and
Right. And
help?
it's so uncomfortable. It's taking this long because it's really an uncomfortable conversation.
Hmm.
This is not what you want to talk about.
Yeah,
And that's
absolutely.
what they make you feel like. So
Yeah.
it's very uncomfortable. It's disturbing. It makes people uneasy. Nobody really wants to hear it or deal with it. So
Yeah, if you think about that though, for years we've been told what goes on in our home stays in our home. In the
yeah.
church, we've been told the same thing. Like we're family, this is the community. If it's anything that happens, come to the elders. If you come to the elders,
Yeah,
they
exactly.
help you. And the elders,
The elders are the ones.
they are the ones that are doing the damage, and they back the pastors every single time because there's a dark loyalty to these people. And I listen. I understand loyalty, but I'm never covering up for nobody. I will cover you until you recover, but I'm not covering up for you because the detriment in covering up it means that you leave somebody uncovered. And
Exactly.
and it's not okay to leave anybody uncovered at all. We're called to be helpers one to another or to cover. Love covers a multitude of sin. But if you do have sin, the there should be consequences when you're a leader who's doing this to children, and there's no covering up for anything. We're going to uncover you so that we can actually help you heal properly. You need to sit your stinking behind down and get help, because that's a
Exactly.
sickness and that's a disease and that's a demon.
It
Period.
is.
And let's just call it what it is.
It
So
is.
one of the children, her name was Carrie. She ended up telling her best friend she was going through a lot, because these people had like children come into their home every single week,
Yeah.
and they would have like meetings, and they would have lock-ins. You know, we had like, we call it like what we all night prayers. So they had what they called like lock-ins, so youth lock-ins, and during these lock-ins, they would literally lock them into these homes, and they would play games like board games. They played sexual board games, mind you. These
Jesus.
games consisted of the young girls running around with their underwear on, and the boys would have to figure out what girl it was. And so there was a lot of giggling. It was very playful grooming that went, was so quietly done and so meticulously done that these children didn't realize that they were pawns in this game of, you know, demonic activity. So these
And
children.
it almost and it felt normal. Um, it
Hmm.
wasn't. Well, what I remember is that it doesn't feel weird. It felt. I mean, there was a weirdness to it, but it was normal. Like this is the way we live. I mean,
These are our
y-
pastors. These are our leaders. This is
yeah.
how. This is
Like, and we
fun.
looked up to them, so it wasn't. It was normal.
They added pizza and juice and
Yeah,
toys. Like
it was normal.
all of
It
the
was completely normal.
all of the children or childish things that children love, like all of the things, like the candies and the sweets and the chocolates and all that stuff, so that they could just be. And it's so fun. These are our leaders. This is so much fun. Oh my God! Hey, and then you don't even realize that as the night is ending, or we're getting closer to midnight, when all of the stuff comes out. The freaks come out at night, if you
They
will.
do.
They
They
do.
do.
So then the pastor, the wife, her name was Becky Campbell. She would take the boys into her room, and
Oh
her
Lord.
room was, when they would get to her room, she would call them in one by one, and there would be toys, and you know what I'm talking about, on the bed. So they had toys. They would see toys on the bed, and they would see corn hub as well. So some type of corn was on the bed, and so they were
Mm.
able to see what was going on, and she would begin to um, groom, molest, and all of the extra stuff that went along with taking care of herself, with all of the stuff that she provided for them. She would
Oh,
also teach them how to use the games, all the fun that they, picked up. They were able to learn how to use them on her and even themselves. So, um, what else? For that experience was going on for the boys, but for the girls, he would pull them in one by one all throughout the night, at any given time, and the same things would take place, but just not from an angle of the toys. But he would start to teach them how to take care of him,
yeah.
and he would take care of them himself.
Well,
And
from my experience, well, we had overnight trips. We would drink. There's some type of uh, a non. Well, what they say is non caffeine coffee. We would drink that at night when we were on overnight trips, and that would be to relax us.
so, like a unisom or a what we take now, melatonin, basically.
Basically, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we would drink that, and then all out hell. If you ask me now,
Mm-hmm.
not then, but now,
So, what
that's
kind
all
of
out.
things would happen with your youth lock-ins?
So with our lock-ins, as we're calling it, would be we would drink our tea or coffee or whatever they considered it as,
Their Jim
because
Jones juice, basically.
yeah. And then we were touched, kissed on, fondled, and it was just and it didn't, at the time it didn't register as danger. And I
So
don't know
was
what
it
that's
with the boys?
about.
Was it with the leaders and the children?
It was the leaders and the against the children,
Oh wow.
because we were still children. We weren't of age.
Hmm.
So it was like a complete give you this, relax, and then once you're relaxed, then the fondling will begin.
So it was like a drug, one of those what we call
Yeah, I don't
one of those
know, but yeah.
intoxicating elements that would make sure that you were in the right head space to be able to
Yes,
do
they
whatever.
gave us that. They gave us that. I don't know the name of it right now. I will know about it next time we talk. But it was a certain thing that they gave us that was supposed to be caffeine free, this free, this free, this free. But we had to drink it.
So you were drinking salvation, demonic
Yeah.
salvation, basically.
I mean, really.
I mean, it's free. It's free. Everybody can have it. You get a hit. I get a hit. Everybody get a hit.
No,
But
we all had it. We drank it. We drank it all the time.
so demonic salvation. That's what they
Like
give us.
drinking the Kool-Aid,
Yeah, that's the
basically.
Kool Aid that they give us when we walk into the four walls of any church, not the kingdom. I'm being specific. When we walk into the four walls of any church, we're going to get that same green pill. And this pill is supposed to make us feel so good that we get rocked into whatever foolishness we end up on the other side of. It's salvation. It's their cup of salvation, basically. But Getty, go ahead because you already know how I think, and I feel like that's what I'm going to call it, the cup of salvation. All right, go ahead.
But
So,
yeah, they would give us the tea when we spent the nights out. Like when we went on plenty of trips. Um, we went, oh god, this is crazy, y'all.
so Carrie ended up telling her best friend Dewana everything that happened to her during those lock-ins. And she told her because her friend Dewana was invited to a lock-in by the pastor, Pastor Joe Campbell, invited Dewana to come to one of the lock-ins, and Carrie got wind of her invitation, and she said, "I need to stop my friend because I don't want her to go through what I'm going through." And so she told her friend, and she tried to stop her from going to his house and experiencing the same abuse. So as a result of that, Dewana's mother was told, and she wasn't surprised. Which this is where we left off last week. Dewana's mother wasn't surprised by the accusations. So that is where I want to put a coin for a second.
Hmm.
Because
Hmm.
there are a lot of parents, mothers and fathers, uncles and aunts who and grandparents. Let me not leave out the mimas, okay? But for us it's like Big Mama or Mimi or Grand or whatever. Okay, but you get what I'm saying. These people who are supposed to be coverings for children will turn a blind eye and a deaf ear, and they will believe those leaders, and they're sworn to a secrecy that also puts them in the realm of demonic. Like they are also evil, twisted leaders
They are
are
as guilty.
evil and twisted. Yeah, they're just as guilty.
They
Yep.
are as guilty as them. They
So
are.
yeah, her mom wasn't surprised. So if you're not surprised, then why would you even know that your child is talking to a man who is accused? Because this wasn't the first accusation that was that Joe and Becky were walking through. They walked through multiple allegations, multiple trials, and they walked away from those places where the kids were deemed liars, and those leaders were put back in their positions. So
Mm.
by the elders, mind you. So the elders were in on it too. And nobody can convince me that those elders, just like the elders in the church that I was in and the one that you were in, they are all a part of getting their fills too. So everybody has a level of
Yeah. But
silence.
about the parents, I would say I don't completely understand. Um, because no parent should want their child to be abused. But it was so often and so widespread that I don't understand it at all. Like I don't get it.
Hmm.
Maybe there's something I don't get. I don't know. But there
Well,
was something happening because everyone was abreast to the situation. So how to keep letting it going, I don't know.
and there are some parents to this day that's still a part of these churches, and cousins and aunts and uncles and everybody that's still subscribe to the teachings of and the foundation of these pastors that they know are juice boxes. How do we make
And
sense of that?
some of them, from what I know for a fact, were victims of the juice boxes themselves. So
Wow.
that could have something to do with it. I don't know. I'm still trying to figure it out.
Yeah, because grooming will have you stick around for years. I could understand the grooming from that angle because I actually was up until maybe 2 years ago, 2.5, well, 1.5 years ago. It wasn't until God opened up my ears and my eyes and my mind to actually know what was happening to me that entire time, that I was a victim and that I wasn't a co-signer of the foolishness. Like I was walking around in shame and guilt and all those things. And, my abuse started at 11 and a half, 12. So imagine walking around for 42 years trying to figure out, like the part that you played in the trauma. And here, all you were was a child. That's all. That's the part you played, is the child in the story. But you did not participate willingly in any of it. And so I
A
had to
child
really.
cannot participate in sexual abuse. And I want
Mhm.
to make that clear to everybody who's listening. A child cannot, regardless of anything, a child cannot be responsible for abuse, for sexual abuse. There's no way. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how, it doesn't matter the language, it doesn't matter the anything. It doesn't matter. A child cannot do that.
Yeah,
It
we
is
can't. A
wrong,
child can't
period.
consent to it. They can't consent.
They cannot consent at all.
And a child that is groomed, by the time that child reaches 18, they're still not consenting to what you're doing.
Right.
Let
Especially,
me make
yeah,
that clear.
right.
Yeah. Yep. Because that was my whole question mark. The question mark in my story was, when I turned 18, 2 weeks later is when the grape started. So you waited patiently for 2 whole years. Like he would do everything from the hard kissing and the hard touching and like deep fondling and all the other stuff that goes with touching, but
Oh,
then
God.
even down to humping and all that kind of stuff. Like he was doing a lot, and he was,
Jeez.
still able to ejaculate and do all of his stuff on the outside of my clothing. So that was how he was able to make it through from, the time I was 12 till 18. But literally 2 weeks after I turned 18, he moved into all the other stuff. And even leading up to that, it definitely was the oral side of it. Like he made sure that I was, actually, performing oral as well, which is crazy because, and I can clown about it now because I'm older and I'm looking at him from an angle of other anatomy and all the other stuff that, because one of the things that the children had to do was stand before the elders and those pastors, Joe and Becky, and talk about like parts of what the abuse was, quote unquote, to these elders. So these conversations, they would ask them like describe his manhood, and I'm like, well, yeah, I can do that. As a child, you actually can do. You're acquainted with these parts because they're shoved in your face literally, or like, so exactly what you see. You remember all of the details. That's the other side of it. You remember every detail, rather how they smelled, how they the smell of their cologne, the smell, like every detail. It is still to this day enough to just send you, in the bed for like weeks. So it's
Yeah,
not
it
even
will.
a joke. It's really something that you have to walk out every day.
Yeah,
Um,
and
yeah. So the,
so the lasting effects of the actual remembrance is crazy. It is, you have dreams. What about the dreams,
oh yeah,
Tara?
I don't want to even talk about dreams, and I'm a
The
dreamer.
dreams are crazy.
Yeah.
Like you, when you sleep, it comes up.
Yep. It's interrupted, and it feels like you're back in the same. And matter of fact, I have dreams about the house that I grew up in.
Hmm.
I still have dreams about 520 West York Street, um, and my room, the hallway, my mother's room, the bathroom. I have dreams about the living room, the dining room area, the kitchen area, the things that went on in the hallway, the things that went on in my
Right.
mother's room, the things that went on in my room, the things that went on. So I can go on and on and on. Those dreams haunt me to this day.
They haunt me too, and it's torturous.
Yep.
Um, and it's worse. Um, when you wake up in the middle of the night and then try to go back to sleep, that's when it happens.
Yeah. And you remember, you don't come from 52. Well, I'll be 54 in a couple of weeks. Shout out to me. But anyway, you don't go back. You don't turn into a 80. I mean, I'm sorry, 80, because that's Bianca calling me an old woman. I'm thinking 80.
Oh
But
Lord.
you don't go into a 54-year-old woman. You literally go back to the 12-year-old you, and you walk back through all of the trauma.
It's there. It don't leave.
Yeah, that's true.
It does not leave at all.
Mhm.
At all. It doesn't leave. It's every
And
day, all day.
yeah,
And what you're doing is fighting through it and, doing your best through it because it's still there.
and after you have those dreams, you're forced to wake up and be,
And then you got to wake up and try to be normal.
yeah, be a wife, for me, it's be a wife, be a grandmother, be a,
You
a
still got to
mother,
do that,
be a
but
minister. Yup,
exactly.
yeah, yup. You're
So
called
it's
to
it's
be all
just
of those
it's
things.
it's crazy. Like I don't know. I don't even know.
So look, when Dewana told her mother wasn't surprised. Just like many of the people that we go to church with, and I went to church with, and my own family members, like they're not surprised by, my mother wasn't surprised that it happened, because she's like, that happens in big families. Like, she didn't know about this abuser, like my leader, but she knew that what I walked through before him, she knew, like, her thing was, no, that happens in big families, so she knew. But my mother removed the perpetrator immediately, so she did what she was supposed to do. But what she said to me, it stuck with me all of my life, and so it did not leave me. I walked around thinking that she didn't care. And so that also, when you don't feel when you feel like your mother doesn't care, it ushers you into another level of trauma. And so
Mhm.
you're literally walking through trauma with more trauma. Like, so you got trauma packed onto trauma.
Mhm.
If somebody, is not faithful, like if you have a boyfriend that's not faithful, that's another level of trauma. If you have anyone that has ever isolated you, or any of those things, that's another level of trauma. If you've gone through anything, everything adds to your trauma.
It just builds on it.
Keep building, yes. And so you are broken. You walk around just broken, period. When she told her mother instructed her to tell the church elders, and the elders started an investigation, and they collected all this information from other children who gave the same statements and the same type of accounts of what they experienced at the hands of these leaders. And so they talked about the corn videos in the home, the toys that they used
Mm.
and witnessed. They talked about the molestations and the grapes. They talked about the letters that they received from these leaders, thanking them for, like, having fun and inviting them to come back. They talked about all of these things, and these letters were shared with the whole entire assembly of God leaders and the entire organization. And they had a trial. And guess what? Carrie was forced, and she was forced, and the other children were forced to testify in front of these pastors. And the pastors were there at the trial. So they were told that they wouldn't be there, but they were there. His wife was there, and over 300 pastors, 30 pastors, and up to 300 altogether, and all of the trials that they went through were there. And what's crazy about it is that they wanted that 14-year-old child and the other children that were the victims to describe his manhood,
Oh
her
Jesus.
womanhood, and other painful accounts of abuse. After humiliating these children, they humiliated them. They found him and her not guilty and allowed
Oh
them to
Lord.
keep pastoring. So
And the
now,
crazy thing is the humiliation is real. I was on trial
mhm,
at 15 for my first abuser in the same church as my second abuser. And it was humiliating. I was labeled a whore, and I was labeled all types of stuff that are wasn't even was. Like
yeah,
I didn't even.
they called her demonic too, and they called her a whore. They said that she
Yeah, they called
tried to
me
break up
all
the
types of
church.
stuff, and I had never had an actual sexual experience, like a consensual sexual experience before that. But I was labeled everything. And they
Wow,
looked at me like that. They talked about me like that in open court.
wow. So you were
So,
on trial. Do you remember if they were on trial, and what that was like for, like, what do you remember about them being in the hot seat?
well, it was him on the hot seat, my first abuser that was in the same church. Um, he was on trial. So when I told my story and they called his character witnesses, they said that I asked for it, I wanted it, all types of crazy stuff. I didn't.
How old were you at the time that
I was 14.
wow,
I was literally in ninth grade.
wow.
They said I wanted it and I was uh invoking it, and it was crazy. And then for the rest of my life that followed me. That's what I'm saying. Like whoever asked that question earlier,
Yeah.
it follows you because now I'm labeled as that. Because somebody at one point labeled that and then just took it.
And so what happened to the young lady? It's funny that you said that, because she was like 14, and she got that label too. Because they went through the trial, he was found out guilty, and so now you look like you're causing trouble in the church, and
Yeah,
so
oh
that
that too, yes.
the lady would walk with her even in school. Like the children in the school that was a part of that church would, like, tell her, like, here's some change. If you want to get put a coin in, you can get whatever you want out of Carrie. So they were like literally calling her names, humiliating her too. Like, so they joined the whole trauma side of it. And eventually she did get pregnant. She got pregnant at like 16 years old. And of course, now it's looking like, yeah, we told you she was a whore, you know?
Hmm.
So that
That's what they
label
do.
will
That's
follow
normal.
children. Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's what they do. That's how it go.
Yep.
It's literally how it goes. If you
Yeah.
try to defend yourself, it's gonna go like that, and that's messed up.
Yeah, it's very sad, but it's also a part of the covering up for. It's like the child is walking away full of shame and full of guilt. They feel like they did something. It's because of something that they did that caused everything that happened to them. And you walk through life like that. You walk
I
through
know.
life with all kinds of thoughts of, how could I have, how did I contribute to this? And especially if you're still a part of that ministry. Like, I was a part of that ministry for years and years. And matter of fact, there was a whole nother ministry that was started, and I was a part of that as well. And so going between two churches, same pastor. But what was going on in one church was going on in the same church, the next church. The leaders in that church were doing the same stuff that he was doing, and in the second church, the same things were going on between the children and the older leaders and stuff like that. And so it was just like a continuation. I'm sure that the children in that church was also messing with children in that church. Like, so the children
Mm.
were also pulled into uh, the grooming process of just making more disciples for the enemy's kingdom, so to speak. So it's just like a whole sick cycle. This story caught my eye because it fits the overall description of what you and I walk through. And these women and men are still walking through it till this day. Do you feel like we'll ever be free from walking through it? And if no, if so, I mean, if no, why not?
Okay, I feel like Jesus. I don't know if okay. My answer is I don't know if we'll ever be free, but I do know that we'll have a better understanding of it because there everybody else won't be free. So we'll always have the stigma, but we'll understand it better and we'll understand how to deal with it better. Because you can't make people free just because you free.
Yeah, you can't make. God is the only one that can
Yeah.
make.
So it's still gonna happen, but you can deal with it better. I feel like we will be able to and God helping. I will be able to understand what they talking about, but know what I'm talking about. I don't think it's necessarily freedom though. I don't know how to
Yeah, he is.
it's a
Yeah,
way to deal with it, but I don't know if it's freedom because it's still there by everybody else. So I wouldn't call it freedom. I would call it personal freedom, maybe, but not just completely free. This was set in place, and there's nothing you can help nobody with. Because I've explained myself over and over again for years. Literally, I'm almost 40 years old, and this happened when I was 14. So there's no way to really make somebody s- say what you're saying. So you can't really do that, but you can set yourself free and you can deal with how they feel and just deal with it better. And that's my only. I ain't got nothing else to say. That's
Yeah,
what it
I think
is.
that a lot of people are, and like myself, and even like you, but a lot of people are stuck in that confined place or that place of captivity or that place of bondage or that place of limitation. Um, and so with that, there is such a debilitating element to that that the freedom it looks like is not possible because I've been in slavery all this time, so to speak. Um, um, and most people get comfortable in slavery. They get comfortable in captivity. They get comfortable in confinement or imprisonment because it is dark here. It's cozy here. I'm safe here. I don't have to see anybody. I don't have to go outside of this box. I don't have to explain how I'm feeling. I can just be in my feelings. So that is a safe space, but that's where the enemy lives. He wants us to live where he lives. And so he drags you into that place and he makes you very comfortable. So you're not able to understand the reason why God said that I will make you free. And what making looks like is it is him giving you a deliverance from or a um the discharge papers, if you will. Like you've walked through this, you know what this feels like. You know all of the things that it caused you. You know that it's keeping you from your purpose in life or from fulfilling destiny. You're not able to actually get up and work, get up and live, get up and really eat. Like you will cling to the vices more than um, the things that actually will make you feel like you're a part of the community, or a part of helping somebody else or helping yourself. So God comes along and rescues you from those things, or the um, like almost like you're doing time for something that you didn't do. That's kind of like where this left us off at. Like we're doing time for something that we didn't do. And time for me was 42 years worth of just going through. For you, it's been since you were what, 6?
Yeah,
So you've been in jail basically or in prison for all of these years. And so God is like, I
and
just
this led to a whole bunch of other things that we'll talk about later.
yeah. Yeah. So he said, okay,
Because
well,
it leads to stuff. It don't stop. It leads to stuff. There's other things that come from feeling like this and being like this. There's
yeah.
other things that come from it.
Um,
Terrible things.
so even if he's knocking on your door, like, hey, like Bianca, you know, get up, get your stuff. Come on, you going home. You'll sit there like, okay, I don't know what that's gonna look like, so I'd rather just stay here. Like I'm okay. You know how many people remember the story? Remember the movie Life
Yeah, yeah, I know it
when
will.
when they were able to go home finally.
Come here, jingling, jingling.
Jing lang, jing lang. Remember they were able to go home and they were like, no. And remember he was like the one guy literally offed himself so that he could stay. He was trying to stay and he was like, oh well, I'm gonna just go ahead and let them just take me because I ain't leaving. Remember that?
Oh, I know. That's one of
So
my favorite movies, by the way.
me too,
Yo,
but when you release from something and you choose to stay in it, that is what God is calling you from. He's calling you into freedom. So freedom looks like rescue. All the things that you're going through, it looks like God saying, like, come on, you can get out of this. That is salvation. That is God making a decision for you to get you out of some place that you're in. And so all the things that you've been abandoned. I know I was abandoned 100%. Like I thought that I was walking through those doors, get ready to meet Jesus, and you got to hear my story. You can go to Power to Tread podcast on Spotify to listen to the stories of others like us, who were in their childhood walking through those church doors and walked into, um, monsters, flat out demons, entities, ancient entities who have been there for centuries, and it's the same spirit. That's why we're still talking about it today. Um, so yeah, I think that we can end on that note. Are there any questions in the chat? And I know it was a lot of people in the chat that came and went, and like we had a lot of viewership from the last chat that we had, the last live that we had, and so I do anticipate that there will be others that will come in and ask questions once they actually hear this conversation. You can go check out the Children's Pastor on YouTube. It's right on YouTube. Just put in the Children's Pastor. It's like 45 minutes worth of um, commentary, and you'll be able to pull the stories up and hear them firsthand. We just wanted to pull that story out of many stories that we will talk about to as we also dive into our own stories. Um, and again, if there aren't any questions, Bianca, you have any final answers or questions?
I have one thing to say. Um, don't be scared to talk about what happened to you. There's no shame in it at all. Talk about it. That's the only way it's gonna get better. Is we have to talk about it. Like we have to. We don't have a choice. Like we're not staying quiet anymore. Talk about it. It'll help.
Yeah. And if you feel like you can't talk, there is a National Sexual Assault Hotline, 1-800 656 4673. You can call at any time that you're feeling threatened.
Or you can call us.
And you can definitely call me. You can go follow me at Power to Tread Podcast, Tara Broadus, on all social media platforms at Power to Tread Podcast, or Power to Tread Global, rather. I'm sorry. On Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and here at YouTube, we will be opening up our subscribers only um, angle so that you can hear exclusive dialogue at any time. It can be at any time during the day. We will just sign on and just start talking because you never know. While we're on this journey to, Essence Fest, Essence Film Festival, to talk about church doors, we will at any time open up our own conversations on our platform to just have a conversation or just to answer questions that come in. We might just do a question and answer segment between now and Wednesday of next week because there are questions still, and I will just make sure that I write all of them out and I'll take them and then we'll answer them for you so that we can help you navigate. I'm grateful that we get to help someone navigate. I'm sure you are, Bianca, because you've been waiting to do this for a long time.
Mhm.
So
You're
how do you
not
feel?
alone. You're not alone. You're not alone at all. You're
How
not
do you
alone.
feel being able to help somebody, tread?
It gives it uh it is relief. It gives relief. I am 100% ready to talk because that's the only way you can really deal with it. You got to talk about it. You can't
Hmm.
just not say nothing. You got to say something. So I am ready to talk. If you ever want to talk, reach out to Power Track Global. Reach out to
How can they
me.
reach out to you?
What'd you say?
How can they reach out to you?
I'm the underscore beauty cartel underscore. You can always
So
talk to me. You can talk to Tara, Power to Track Global. We are always ready to talk. You at any time of the day, any time of the night, we got to deal with this, y'all. We have to deal with it. We can't just let it go by and act like it didn't happen or like it's none. it's not a big deal because it is. So
Yeah, it's big. It's actually huge. It's something that is not talked about in especially the black church. I can speak for the church that I was a part of. I'm no longer a part of that church community or the black church community. I'm a part of the body of Christ. I'm a part of the kingdom of God. I'm a follower of Christ. I'm not a church goer. I'm a follower, not a fan. And so those are the differences between what I actually who I am. And Bianca doesn't subscribe to any church affiliation, but she's
no,
locked
I
in
don't.
with God. So
I'm locked in
uh,
with the creator, y'all. I'm telling you right now.
girl,
He hears me.
okay, don't start because I'll tell you
I
who
no,
else
no,
he
don't
is.
don't don't, don't let me start because it can go left.
Who am I? But
It can go all the way left, yo, but I'm
go
locked
all the way
in.
left at any time.
But
At any
but
time.
don't ever feel like you don't have anyone to talk to because you always have someone to talk to at any time. It
And
can be
God
2 o'clock
is
in the
the
morning
first,
and you can talk to somebody.
and you can actually talk to God. How about that? He hears
And you
you
can
every
talk
time you
to
open your
God.
mouth.
Yes. Yes, she's right.
So if you have nobody, if the hotline is not available, if we're not available, if anybody that you look to help you, you can always look to him, and he will always help you navigate. And he's not always he's always talking, but you have to open your ears to be able to hear him when he
Hmm.
is speaking. So um,
And God
that
is so good. God, listen, listen, y'all. We grew up with he may not come when you want him, but he'll be there right on time. That's cliche, but it's real. Understand that he is always there when it matters the most.
mhm. Like right now, I feel like for a lot of you who will just tune in, especially to hear the podcast after the fact. Um, One good thing about it is your story, although no one knows it, because he was there and he knows it, he's giving you exactly what you need to help you navigate during this time in your life. This time in your life is very crucial. um, you don't know how you ended up on this podcast, but I believe that God Himself sent you, and just come back. Make sure that you like, make sure that you comment, make sure that you subscribe, and hit that notification bell so that you can know every time that we're on, because we will be going live. Not so much just YouTube videos, but live is how we're going to go, because we want it to be as unscripted as possible. We don't want to, have nothing planned, and we'll know what we want to talk about, but we want to be very make sure that the flow is authentic and just the way that we talk any other time. So we don't want it to be fake. We don't want it to be,
Ain't nothing fake about it. This
yeah,
is real, y'all.
I don't want it
This
to
is
be.
how we really talk. We just had. If y'all wasn't listening, we would be talking like this.
No, for real. But it would be a little more because she would be, doing a little more
I might be cursing or something,
content.
but
She'd be, explaining a little more about the body parts. I probably would be talking about like the body parts and how the smells and all that, because I can go graphic, but I'm trying to spare y'all for right now. But let me tell you something. I'm gonna go deep, because as the story, as the plot thickens, and it will, we are going to go deeper. Even on next Friday, when you join us, we will be diving deeper into the childhood things like the grooming and the molestation piece. And that piece, I don't know how long this is going to take us to comb through, but we will be combing, and it's very explicit. So make sure that you don't have any small children that actually are able to articulate what we're saying.
and
Um,
actually watch your children.
and watch your children,
Watch them.
and
Make
pray over
sure
your
no,
children.
watch them. Watch them, watch them, watch them, watch them.
And oh wow, what about this part? Watch who is taking care of your children.
You better
Watch,
watch all of them.
watch who your children share siblings with. Watch
Yes.
um, watch the
Watch your boyfriend. Watch your boyfriend's
Yep.
kids.
Yes. Watch your boyfriend's kids. Watch
Watch
your
your husband's kids.
yes.
Watch
Yep.
everybody because that's when it happens.
Watch their
And your guard
caretakers,
is down and you don't understand. Watch it.
the child care facilities, the
Watch
schools.
all of them. Yep.
You have to watch your children, and more importantly than watching, because you can't be everywhere that they are when you let them into the world. Pray over your children, and when I say
Mhm.
pray, I'm saying anoint them and pray over them and cover them and send angels, dispatch angels to watch over them. And believe me, God will answer your prayers. Period. So that's it. Anything else from anybody else? I don't see anything in the chat that needs to be answered. But thank y'all for joining us. James, others that I don't have your names, just users, all the
Thank you.
users, all of the everyone's. Thank y'all so
Thank
much for
you.
coming, treaders. Keep treading, because God has given you power to tread upon serpents, scorpions, and all of the powers of the enemy, and nothing shall by any means harm you. So continue to tread, and we will see you next week
All
on
right.
same
Bye
time.
bye. Bye bye
Bye.
now.